You have called me higher, you have called me deeper, and I'll go where you will lead me, Lord, where you lead me.
So as you guys are talking, and you're bringing up the conversation that we had and that we had as well. And I was feeling the exact same thing. And yet I'm having these conversations with all of you saying, I don't have it. I don't know what I'm going to be sharing here. I don't know if this is relevant. I don't have the time. And as the leader, supposed to be encouraging you, I get off the phone and I just got on my face because, Lord, you have to show up here. And the beautiful thing I felt through this is even though, yes, I believe that the enemy does not want this study to go forward. Because we've been praying, Father, we want to see that the enemy is in disguise. We want to be able to see how he's weaving these things, what are his schemes, so that then we can stand and know how to appropriate the honor of God. And in God's mercy, he's allowing us to go through these things so that we can, it's fresh. That's what we've been talking about. This is the freshest thing for us right now. We've just completed our homework. It's in the editing process, but it is how these things are coming at us, and what a great thing to see the distractions and busyness, that those are some of the toxins that the enemy will use. And remembering, what is the big picture of this? This is not just personal attacks on us. It is personal attacks, but this is the enemy who is trying to throw a wrench in the spokes against something that God is trying to do. And if he can derail us, this study is not going to go forward so that his women in the body can grow in strength and maturity and learn how to stand firm. So, just so relevant for all of us.
As you're speaking, I'm thinking of how, because we were teaching, we realized that the pushback was from the enemy. Mm-hmm. So we're more likely to be like, okay, I'm going to pull out whatever, because this is fresh on our mind. I'm going to pull out my sword. I'm going to put out my shield. I'm going to do that. But I think we forget that it's not just when we're teaching. It's all these other times that maybe we just be sauntering through life thinking, oh, this armor's so heavy or whatever. I just setting it aside and not realizing these attacks are coming all the time. Mm-hmm. And keeping us from usefulness, if we aren't prepared, if we aren't in the ready position, like when kids are in sports, be in the ready position, and we're just not in the ready position. I think we were in the ready position because we were teaching. Mm-hmm. So it was obvious, the pushback. That's good. But how many times are we just serving our family, mm-hmm. which is huge? That's like a daily teaching thing. Mm-hmm. And the pushback from Satan comes, and we're just like, miss it completely, mm-hmm. because we're disarmed at that point. And I think that's what the enemy wants to do, is just get us to drop our armor, mm-hmm. and just think that life is mundane, and there's certain moments when you need it, and there's certain mm-hmm. moments when you don't. Mm-hmm. And the reality is we can never be without this armor. Mm-hmm.
I think along those lines, that was something that I called you guys about during it, because I became really passionate about wanting to know, how do you know if it's an attack from Satan or just the result of the fallen world? And it's, life is going to throw you things, and it could be really major things, or it could be just kind of daily life, like the, dog that barks next door or something. So thank you for your wisdom in that. And I think what was really helpful for me to learn in my own life is that, like you had said, Gina, not every day is an evil day. And I'd really been looking at Deuteronomy 29, where it says the secret things belong to God. And it's like, God doesn't always tell us why things happen, but what matters is whether it's an attack or whether it's part of our fallen world, we need to be fighting and responding as God's soldiers. And it doesn't matter what the reason is, it's our response is always to be as God's soldier. And it could be the very tiny little pet peeve things that annoy us in our daily life, or it could be some accident or a horrible thing, but we don't always know what it is, but how we respond is to always reflect Jesus, and that was really helpful for me. So learning that and then just applying that daily, because it does help you see how you're responding in the little things, which I think is important. So.
Every day is a day to suit up.
Yeah.
And since I'm doing prayer, I just felt like one of the things that is helpful in our prayer in the morning, whether it's in the car, on the way somewhere, or in front of the mirror, maybe we could use a Post-it to remind ourselves, to suit up in the armor and be alert. And knowing that God delights in coming to our aid. God delights in unmasking the attacks that are going to come. And just knowing that we're prepared gives us confidence to face our day, even though we know attacks may come. But it gives us a touch point every morning if we kind of make it part of our getting ready for the day.
There was something that you said at the beginning of our time we started meeting, talking through this idea, working it through. And you said, I think you had a picture in your mind of a woman in the middle of a battlefield on her phone. And here's this battle raging around her, yet she's just on her phone and completely unaware of the battle that is raging. And that's just been so powerful. I think about that all the time, and that comes back to what you said, is that we need to have the armor on every day and to be ready.
I love what you said, Gina, about it being too heavy. Like, this is too heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we get weary, I guess. I'm taking this off. Because it's never been, God never said, like, this is going to be easy. He says, was it, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. But it still requires work.
Yeah.
A yoke and a burden it doesn't mean and therefore step aside it's going to be easy. It is heavy. It takes work. It takes suiting up. Like every day you must suit up physically, and it's heavy. It can be very heavy and cumbersome. We know that armor was not light. So I love that picture. I hadn't actually thought about that. The reality of what it would be like to put that on every day and then have to go fight with it on. It's never intended to be easy. It's a powerful picture.
Well, I mean, we have to endure, right? Jesus is telling us, he who endures to the end will be saved. In other words, if it was so easy, why would you have to endure it? What is it? I mean, enduring means I'm getting that there's some kind of struggle, and we're going to want to tap out and just say, done, and wrestling match over, you win, and there's times in my life when I've actually done that. I've just been, I can't, when we say, even that phrase, I give up, we're like, I feel like I'm going to give up, where we're just kind of like, I'm going to stop trying, I think that's exactly what the enemy wants us to do. And I think it's because we're trying to do it in our own strength,
Yes.
in our own effort, and we're not realizing it's he that's in us. So.